What's up, everybody? Skel DM Cobb 37 here with another DH&T. Today is April 3rd, Friday. You know what that means? After work, going to get the kids, which is my favorite thing, by the way. But that is not the topic for today's little video. Today's topic would be how I got into D&D or role-playing in general. So, we take a trip in the Wayback Machine. February 7th, 1984. Randy, who is playing in the game currently today, a couple years older, he was, I think he was out of high school. I was a senior. So there was Randy. I used to, play with those guys. We were mostly into sports back in the day. We had a good neighborhood for the kids all meeting up and playing fuzzball or whatever the seasonal thing was. But then Randy, and he has a little brother Derek who's 2 years younger than me, so I was right in the middle. And so Randy came home one day when I was hanging out with Derek, and he said, "Hey, you want to try this new game?" I said, "Okay." So I remember it was like a, what do you call it, a clone. I didn't know this at the time, but as it turned out, it was a clone of D&D, and I remember rolling up all these stats, and in hindsight, it was obviously not needed, but, because instead of just being the 6, it was like 20 different things. So somebody had put a lot of thought into this. So we did that, we rolled it, and then we started playing. And what I remember vividly about that game was going to look for something, and I don't remember what. It was probably the missing girl. That kind of sounds right, because I remember at one point she got hit by somebody trying to throw a dagger, and they missed, and they hit the girl. They didn't kill her. But what I remember vividly is we were searching in the cave, I think, and we found a chest with a false bottom. And that took us down to where the girl was kept. And I was like, wow, I just thought that was really cool. 17-year-old me. And in hindsight, it was really cool, because I remember I didn't want to go down to fight the goblins because I didn't understand the concept of hit points. I thought if you got hit once, you were killed. So I didn't want to go, but Derek wanted to go for it, so I reluctantly followed. His character was Maximilian, I think straight fighter. My character was Oxbogan, and I remember telling Randy, I want to play the weirdest character there is. So he said, well, there's half orc. I said, well, how about if you're half a half orc and half an elf? He was like, okay. So my first character was totally not within the bounds of the rules. And that character stayed in the game until, I'm thinking like 2008, 2010, something like that. He was a fighter magic user, and I think he topped out at his max level in fighter, which I thought was 9th. Well, it's been a long time since we looked at those first edition books or the character sheet. But he was real strong and cast spells. And back when you first start, you don't know all the rules. So I remember we were like casting spells and armor and not worrying about what do you call them, components or casting times, and I mean, everything had to have treasure. It would have been like if you were playing a video game. There wasn't a lot of role playing. It was just, hey, let's go here, let's go there. The amount of role playing there was, hey, I don't like that. Oh yeah, that sort of thing. So Randy, then I don't know if we ever played with Randy ever again after that first time, but I started, like, I wanted to continue to play, and it became down to me and Derek as in who's going to be the dungeon master, and I was like, well, I'll try it. And I remember I ran the Lost Island of Castanamir. I think that's the first edition mod. I don't remember. But I remember going through the thing, and it was like 8 hours. And then right when I remember reading some flavored text about, and you see this guy doing blah blah, and I remember Derek can, oh, that's that guy we're here to kill, and I was like, I didn't even put that together, and I was running the damn thing. So that's that was when I got the DMing bug, I guess you could say, because I was like, hey, this is fun. And I remember, we had NPCs that went through, so I had my characters and he had his characters, and I remember that being fun, but I couldn't tell you shit about that module now. So now we move to present day. I think it was last year. I was walking the neighborhood, and Randy doesn't live in that neighborhood, but he's the water guy, as some of you may know from watching the current game that he's in. And I was like, hey man, remember, what are you up to? And, he was involved in sports with his kids, and I think his kids were all out of the house now, or at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'm still playing D&D. And I was like, man, you got me started on that. If you ever want to come and play, if you don't have anything better to do, now you're more than welcome. And he was like, all right. So I didn't really think he would, but then either he texted me or I called, I don't know. But it was like, yeah. So he joined back up after all this time. So 2019 from 1984, that's 35 years in between. That's pretty cool, I think. So that is how I officially began in the D&D and role-playing world. And now it's like we're on this hiatus because of the double plus bad cold. Well, I'm not monetizing my videos, so I can say coronavirus all day long. COVID-19. When it comes to be COVID-37, then you will see me cease all contact with the outside world, because you don't want me getting COVID-37. That's a death sentence. Hell, COVID-19 might be a death sentence for me. I don't know. Hopefully I don't get it. Working in the grocery business, we are exposed no matter what. If you wear a mask and the gloves and wash your hands, and now they've said that you could be, doesn't matter how far away you are, if someone's been in the room breathing, it's going to stay in there for hours. As they say, it's been aerosoled, or well, there's a term for it. So it's just not droplets. So that's great. Duh. Somebody rolled a 1 on their intelligence check. No, that's not true. The only thing I will say is it would have been nice if we would have been overly cautious as a nation instead of underly cautious. That's all. You know, but we weren't, and now everybody's getting it. So there you go. I assume I will get it at some point simply because I'm dealing with multitudes of people that know people that know people, and asymptomatic people will happen to come through town and whatever. So hopefully I live through that. And of course I don't want to get it because I don't want to give it to my children. So anyway, so that's how I got started in D&D. I hope you find value in these videos. If you do, hit that like button. If you really like them, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button though, that really helps. All right, we'll see you next time. Roll them 20s.